Ciao a tutti, good evening and welcome to the Italian Radio Hour. Io sono Viviana and I would like to welcome back our regular listeners and also welcome any new listeners. Also, be sure to like us on Instagram and Facebook at Italian Radio Hour and subscribe to our YouTube channel to catch up on any past video interviews. Vorrei dare il benvenuto ai nostri ascoltatori da tutto il mondo, grazie per essere con noi anche oggi mentre continuiamo il nostro viaggio per l'Italia e la cultura italiana. So today we're traveling to Italy's sun-drenched hill, La Puglia, a land of whitewashed villages, olive groves, colorful markets, and centuries-old culinary traditions. Joining me is Flavia Giordano, tour guide, food educator, founder of Spaghetti ABC, and author of Puglia, a cooking journey through a land and its unique ingredients. In her book, Flavia takes us beyond recipes, revealing the story of ingredients, the rhythms of the land, and the rituals that shape Pugliese cuisine. So don't go anywhere, ma prima pubblicità. Parli italiano? Do you want to learn, improve, or master your Italian? Istituto Mondo Italiano can help. Located in the heart of Regent Square, Mondo Italiano offers small group classes and one-on-one private tutoring, in person or online, to help you learn Italian in no time. Visit us online at istitutomondoitaliano.org. Flavia, it is a true pleasure to have you join us today. How are you?
Ciao Viviana, I'm very well, and thank you for inviting me to your podcast.
So obviously, I am very curious to dive into your beautiful publication that just came out, fresh and still smells, just came out of the print. But I wanted, before I ask you the first question, I wanted to share right away what this book is all about. And you put it beautifully in Italian and in English, which is a great plus of this book, where you say a love letter to Puglia, its products and its extraordinary biodiversity. More than just a guide, this book is a sensory journey that goes straight to the heart of the raw ingredients. An essential read for those who want to discover the richness and complexity of our Apulian cuisine, where territories, traditions, history, and biodiversity are slowly simmer together. What a wonderful description, Flavia. Can we reveal what part of Puglia you're from or where you're currently residing?
Can you guess from my accent? Well, I'm from Bari. I'm a Barese 100%. I lived abroad and now I'm back to Puglia. I live in Polignano. Now I'm based in beautiful Polignano a Mare.
Okay, Polignano, so obviously Domenico Modugno, Volare, the statue right there. And there is a little ice cream parlor. I don't remember the name of the gentleman who makes the best gelato alla patata, potato flavored gelato, which people might say potato is neither salt nor sweet. So it lends itself for something that's really delicious. You combine it with nutmeg or nocciola, and you have the best gelato of your life. So tell us a little bit. So you are from Bari. Where did you move to, or where did you travel before coming back to Puglia? And why did you come back to Puglia?
Yeah, just to answer your question, the bar is called Bar Peppino.
Okay, I was going to say Peppino, yes.
Peppino, and it's in Via Roma. Mm-hmm. And he uses the potatoes because Polignano potatoes are famous. So we go back to biodiversity, where here in Puglia, every town has a local species. So I was born and raised in Bari, but since I'm a curious person and I like to connect with international people, I lived a while in France for almost a year in Aix-en-Provence, and I've lived twice in the US, both New York and San Francisco, and 8 years in Sweden, where I had an Italian cooking school. I owned an Italian cooking school. So it was like curiosity and also passion for sharing Pugliese and Apulian culinary heritage.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. So I'm assuming that all the places that you lived probably had a very keen passion or curiosity towards Puglia, because for us Italians it's also an amazing vacation spot, but full of history but not always the region that is talked the most about. First time goers might choose the capital or maybe the wine country and so forth. But Puglia is really hitting the interest chart in the last few years. Have you noticed that, being also a tour guide and food educator?
Totally. Because the first time I was in New York, I had to describe where Puglia is. So I had to say, do you know Italy? Do you know the boot? Well, the high heel. So this is Puglia. And so I had to say in front of Albania on the Mediterranean coast. And sometimes when I say, where are you from? I'm from Bari. Oh, Bali, Indonesia. No. It's not Bali, it's Bari. So now if I say Puglia, everybody knows it. So we can say that in the last 10 years, Puglia is finally on the map.
Mm, Indeed. So obviously, you are super busy, and just today before this interview, you had an amazing tour with some American clients, and it's also thanks to the work and the questions that people kept on asking that drove you to carve some time and a space for yourself and say, let's put this in a book, right? Which again, you will find recipes, but it's not just a cookbook. This is a guide. This is a journey into the traditions. So tell us a little bit about what were some of the questions that people kept on asking, and describe us that morning in Polignano a Mare, where you have this beautiful view that you realize, I need to stop and I need to write a book about it.
Yeah, so as I told you, I ran for 8 years an Italian cooking school in Malmö, Sweden. And my focus at the time, it was about pasta from Italy, different shapes. So from egg pasta, Northern style and Roman style, to Southern Italian, Apulia. And while we were cooking, I got so many questions, not only about cooking techniques, but about ingredients. So about extra virgin olive oil, how to choose it, how to shop for it, how do you use the different tomato preserve, or which is your favorite brand for pasta. So a lot of questions, because they were, okay, we are with an Italian woman and writer. She cooks, so she knows. So I collected all this question because I wanted my book was something useful, and I think before stepping into kitchen and before starting to prepare a meal, a recipe, you need to know ingredients. Because, for example, let's talk about extra virgin olive oil. You are preparing, you're cherry picking your ingredients, the best meat, the best vegetables, seasonal, organic, and then what you are using, it's a very bad oil, extra virgin olive oil. Maybe it's not even extra virgin. So what's happening? You buy a not good extra virgin olive oil and you are just spoiling your meal.
Masterpiece. You just like it.
Yeah, it's like you buy a nightgown and then you put an ice cream, a chocolate ice cream over it. Like, what's the point of wearing this gown? So, and So this is a little bit a way to answer the questions of my guest and being useful when it comes to shopping for Italian groceries. And also, I'm a taster of extra virgin olive oil, cheese, and I'm becoming also a sommelier. So my angle is also sensory, and it's an invitation when it comes to shop for ingredient, also about stay connected to the senses and understand we are animals, right? Let's use the nose, let's use the senses to understand if this food is good or not. So it's a little bit the idea behind this book.
Indeed, and you successfully achieve your objective because, as I said, I was going through the pages and I was very happy to see how you approach this discovery of Puglia. So also we will get back into to talk about the ingredients in a couple of minutes, but also you explore the different microclimates of Puglia, where what grows in Mola di Bari differs from Carpino. So how does this geographic diversity shape the flavors of the region's dishes?
So just to have an idea, Puglia is a very, very long region. So it's like it's 450 kilometers. So almost half of the length of the whole Italy. So I'm gonna show the map. So Puglia is very long, and it has also different areas. We have a spine, a backbones made of limestone. So it's almost dry and rocky, while here we have the Gargano, which is mountain, and we have the Capitanata with a large plain. So it's very, very diverse, or the Salento with the Terre Rosse, and we have two different seas. I mean, we have the Adriatic, we have the Ionian, so it's very diverse, and it's also interesting because we can say in a different soils can grow different species of vegetables, and actually the fact, for example, that Puglia is also so rocky, so the area of Murgia, which is the spine, is difficult for to extensive agriculture because it's difficult to grow vegetable. There's no water, it's hilly, it's rocky, so that's the reason why it's difficult to grow in large monoculture, and this geographical characteristic led to have small to let people grow small and local species that adapt to that territories and also give a completely different character. For example, I'm thinking about the Primitivo. We have two different types of Primitivo wines. Primitivo is the name of the a red grape from Puglia, and we have the Primitivo di Gioia del Colle, which is close to this Murgia spine, which is completely different from the Primitivo di Manduria that grows by the sea on red soil. So same grape, but completely different wines.
Wonderful. So let's also go back now to the olive oil because again you indicated that you're an official taster. So if you want, because one of the amazing things also to do in Italy is not just to buy, but to go and see the producers and have those sensory experiences so that eventually you know what you are looking for. And also I think the olive oil, the groves, the picking, the bottling is so tied into the lives of olive growers. So can you guide us just a little bit about what an olive oil tasting experience might feel like, what you might be looking for? And obviously this is not this is very generic, but some guidelines.
Yeah, so let's start from the bottle. So for example, let's talk about the oil. So the oil doesn't like heat, oxygen, and light. So that's the reason why you should, for example, buy extra virgin olive oil in a black bottle or in aluminum can and keep it to the right temperature. So for example, is exactly as the wine. You don't buy a Brunello di Montalcino and you keep it in the sun. So you store it in a cellar. You store it at cool temperature, and the same is for the extra virgin olive oil. Also, we make another comparison with the wine. We still have this Brunello di Montalcino. Let's assume you open it and you don't finish it. You put the cork back, so you close it. You don't leave the Brunello di Montalcino evaporating in the air for days. And it's the same is for the oil, because oil doesn't like oxygen. So because it makes the oil gets old. So this is also important. It's also important to look at the expiration date, because if wine can be aged, there are amazing wine that have 10, 12 years old, but extra virgin olive oil, maximum 18 months from the pressing, because with time, the extra virgin olive oil become old. So you want to have fresh extra virgin olive oil in order to have the maximum of flavor and also the healthy characteristic of extra virgin olive oil. So these are guidelines, very, very important. And then also what I'm trying to teach during my masterclass, sensory food tours, and cooking class, that extra virgin olive oil is not just a fat you cook the food with. It's an ingredient that can enhance a plate or destroy it. And that's why it's important always to taste the extra virgin olive oil and to understand it. You were asking about how do we understand if it's a oil is good or not. We, first of all, we smell it. And when we smell it, we have to smell something fresh, like green grass or fresh tomatoes or fresh pepper or herbs. Every oil has a different personality. You can smell rucola, and this is very important. If you smell vinegar, soil, dust, if you smell rancid, and rancid is the smell of old walnut, disgusting, these oil are not good. So they have defects, they have problem, and you don't wanna use them. So this is very important. And also you, so after you smell it, then you drink a bit, and you feel also the texture of an extra virgin olive oil. So you don't want to feel your mouth, your palate coated. You want to have a clean sensation, so something light, not like eating a spoon of butter and having your mouth coated. No, this is not good. Then you also detect if the oil is spicy, peppery, is something vibrant, is it completely flat without no taste. It's an old oil, so you don't want to use it. I mean, you can cook with it, but it has no personality. And then oils are different intensity. We call it fruity. Can be light, medium, or intense. And you have to pair the food accordingly. So if you have a light fish tartare, you are going to put a delicate extra virgin olive oil, because otherwise the oil is going to overpower. If I have a bean soup, I'm gonna use a fruttato intenso because I want to have oil with personality, with food with a strong personality. They have to dance.
Yes. Is almost asking what's your favorite child among the cheeses that maybe might not be as familiar to someone that is not from Italy that you like to introduce your guests to during your classes or tours?
For sure, it's the caciocavallo and probably the caciocavallo podolico. And when I introduce caciocavallo to my guests, it's always shocking because what I say, you know, caciocavallo is basically an aged mozzarella. And for people, it's like, wow, I really, because we are so mozzarella, caciocavallo, scamorza, provolone, they belong to the old family, the family of pull curd cheese.
Pasta filata.
Pasta filata, correct. We know very well mozzarella, probably provolone, but we don't link them together. So what I try to do is like, well, the curd and the dough is the same. It's just the aging process and also the brine, the water and salt, which is different. But basically, caciocavallo is an aged mozzarella, and people say, oh my God, oh my God. And
it's a discovery, yes.
It's a discovery. And especially if you try like a caciocavallo podolico from Gargano area, which is age probably 8 to 11 months, you get surprised because the dough becomes crumbly, like grana, and also from milky it becomes more nutty and also peppery. Caciocavallo, provolone, they tickles your tongue.
Yes, indeed. My father would whenever we were gifted one, make sure that we just didn't open it until he thought it had aged enough. So he was a great expert on that. I'm going to ask you about another ingredient because that brings us also to some pasta traditions, typically of the Apulian cuisine, which is semolina. As you have mentioned before, and as we do also in our cooking classes, not all pasta are the same, the different flours, the shapes and the traditions, and obviously Bari with arcobasso has been talked about and been becoming a very touristy spot, which again has put that part of the city back onto the roadmap. So let's talk a little bit about semolina. What are your favorite pasta shapes, in addition to orecchiette, because I think we are pretty familiar with that, that you would like to introduce your guests to?
So semolina is also an ingredient not everybody knows as a flour. But actually, it's very common semolina because every dried pasta is made with durum wheat. So durum wheat and water, that's it. But if dried pasta is familiar for everybody, durum wheat fresh pasta is something new. And because the semolina flour reacts completely different from wheat from all-purpose flour because the texture of the grain is more like glass, while when you mill wheat, it becomes powdery. When you mill durum, it's like milling a piece of glass, so it's grainy, it's more like sand, and this give the texture of semolina pasta, whether dried or fresh, and makes the pasta staying al dente always because of this particular texture. And yeah, it's like sandy and coarse. Speaking about pasta shapes, I really like one pasta from Salento. I have a picture here, and it's
Page are you
called.
at so I can follow you? What is it? What is
I'm on page 52.
52, andiamo, pagina 52, vediamo cosa ci hai portato. Sì, che bello. Ok, tell us
So,
a little bit about this pasta shape.
so this pasta is called sagna, like lasagna, sagna incannulata or torta, because so it starts as a ribbon. You pinch it on one side, you keep it, you hold it, and with the hand you roll it on itself until you get this. It's flat as a lasagna, but is spinning
Twisted.
around as a fusillo. It's kind of similar to bussiata, but the technique is different because bussiata is rolled around like a stick, while this is just made
Handmade.
with by
Wonderful.
hands.
You know what I will be doing after this interview. And what sauce would you prepare this with?
So this is
Would you
a
go red
classic.
sauce?
So this classical, you can find it in Salento. They serve it with the fresh tomato sauce and a little bit of ricotta forte.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, have you ever tried?
Ricotta salata or ricotta forte
No.
is different.
Ricotta forte, or as we call it in Bari area, ricotta squando.
And that's yes, my mom used to love it. Yes. Okay.
It's like fermented
Yeah.
ricotta. It's stinky, it smells disgusting because it's very, I mean, it's a ricotta that fermented with heat and with time, and it's very pungent. It's very so, but we like it, and so we serve it with the ricotta forte.
Okay, so now I can associate a childhood memory of the ricotta squando, which is now not the ricotta salata, but the ricotta forte. And I lived in Belgium, and the monks said that the stinkier the cheese, the better it is. So let's go with it, and let's also. The reason why I love having a guest like yourself on the program is that it will open up the eyes to visitors, especially if they're first-timers, to go outside their comfort zone and at least try everything and then choose what's their favorite. But going to any region, see what's in season, what the locals are eating. Usually, before I order, I kind of looked around at the restaurant and I say, "What are they eating at that table?" And then it's like one of those.
Good
Okay.
tip.
Yeah, when I was a little kid, my favorite was troccoli because with the guitar, and also it's nice. It's a pasta shape that connects Puglia to Abruzzo and the Transumanza. So you see these traditions being shared and cross-pollinating because they're prepared differently. In Abruzzo, we know of the little pallotte, the teeny tiny meatballs, and their pasta alla chitarra. Same thing, Puglia called troccoli and with their own variations. We're going to go into a quick commercial break, and then we are going to talk about traditions, rituals, and community. Don't go anywhere.
Do you love Italian food? Want to learn the secrets of homemade pasta, sauces, and traditional recipes, just like Nana used to make? At Mondo Italiano, our authentic Italian cooking classes bring the taste of Italy right to Pittsburgh. From fresh pasta to regional specialties, every class is a delicious journey through Italy's culinary traditions. Spots fill quickly, so reserve your seat today. Call us at 412-478-2681 or find us online. Mondo Italiano, where Italy comes alive one dish at a time.
Un caffè, per favore. For more than 35 years, Pittsburgh has started its mornings with La Prima Espresso. From freshly roasted beans from around the world to the perfect espresso or cappuccino, every cup is crafted with care. Stop by and enjoy the warmth of our baristas and familiar faces, or bring the taste of Italy home. Order online today at laprima.com. La Prima Espresso, Pittsburgh's coffee. Okay, we are back with a tour guide, food educator, and writer of the book Puglia, A Cooking Journey Through a Land and Its Unique Ingredients, Flavia Giordano. I'm sure by now most of you, their mouth is watering, mine is, but Puglia is also famous for traditions, rituals, a lot of the sagre and the festivals, for instance, Otranto, I think it was Santoronzo, right, in Otranto, and correct me if...
Santoronzo is Ostuni.
Ostuni, I always confuse Ostuni, the White City, and Otranto, beautiful. I was there in April, and the sea, I thought I was at the Bahamas. The colors were wonderful, was beautiful. It was a part of Puglia that I was not familiar with. So you kind of call them kind of an emotional almanac, linking the rituals to the seasons. So also something else that I'm a big preacher of is when you're planning your vacation dates and you know where you want to go, see if you can find festivals and sagre to plan your vacation around, because you're going to try foods that you are not going to find anywhere else. You're going to see hopefully costumes or some other traditions that come out on those specific festivals. Do you have some favorites, maybe as a child, that are particularly dear to you, and anything that you would like to share?
Yeah, so there's a story about Festa Patronale in the second part of the book, and this is an illustration by Giuseppe La Selva, the art director who helped me for the book. And with all the luminaria, all the lights, the brass band, and the street food, and this is a typical summer sagra, summer festa patronale, because every town in Italy has a patron saint. So I will say summer is ideal to explore a bit. Since I'm from Bari, I'm very attached to San Nicola. And we celebrated both in December, which is the birthday of San Nicola, and it's the beginning of Christmas in Bari. Or in May, when the crops and the bones of St. Nicholas arrived from Turkey to Bari. And we celebrate it in a 3-day long festival. The first day, on the 7th, there is a parade, a historical parade with medieval dress, where we replicate the coming of St. Nicholas to Bari, and is beautiful with lights and luminarie and street food. And then the 8th is the patron saint with fireworks, and you can explore all types of street food from Bari, from Panzerotto, which is similar to pizza fritta from Naples. It's pizza dough stuffed with mozzarella and tomatoes and closed as a half moon and deep fried. Or sgagliozze, which are square of polenta deep fried. Then you can try panino with octopus, with grilled octopus, and it's beautiful because you can really feel the devotion of the city. So it's a very beautiful time of the year. In Salento, they are famous for their sagre. They have, for example, if you want to try something fun and adventurous, there is like a snail festival in Cannole with this monacelle, it's called. Okay, this is panino with the octopus, which is mandatory to try when in Puglia, on the coastal town. What else? Of course, if you like music, in August there is Festa, c'è la Notte della Taranta, yeah, in Melpignano, with folk music, pizzica, and beautiful concert. So I'm also, what are you showing us?
Ricci. Yeah, that was
now.
Yeah, that was one of those instances where I was in Bari, and I was there to a place that somehow famous for the spaghetti all'assassina, but I had asked a Barese to send me to a good place, not and so again the owner, there was a party of friends. I could see this tray of the sea urchins, the ricci, coming, but I didn't see them on the menu, so I just approached them and I said, "You have more in the back?" And he said, "How many would you like?" So, and then before you know, there were two other tables. They're looking at my dish, asking the same thing. But again, people had never tried sea urchins. They were asking me, "What is it? How do you eat it?" It's like, just with a spoon. You just go for it.
Or with some bread.
Yeah.
Actually, I wrote a little bit about the tradition of crudo, of eating seafood, especially in Bari. So, and for example, these are tagliatelle, which in Bari are not pasta shape, but tagliatelle is squid, is or catfish. Cut and eaten like raw, or scampi. So we are really fan of eating raw fish. So it I mean, every season has beautiful rituals. Even winter, I wrote a story about Fanove. This is a Cappellana, and these are the bonfires that light up Puglia towns, especially in January and March, because this is the time where farmers are pruning olive trees, and also grapes. So there's an abundance of wooden. So it's a way to have bonfire and to say welcome to the new farming, to the rural year. And so and it also connected with the saint of with Sant'Antonio. So it's like the starting of farming season.
Yes, and also, for instance, in Sardinia, Sant'Antonio is indeed where you see the mammutones. So a lot of traditions related to earth, the reawakening of earth. Talking about community, you talk about, I love the concept of salsa di comunità. So where neighbors and families are coming together to make the preserves. So how do these communal food rituals shape culture and community life in Puglia?
This is something that I could experience when I was a kid with my families, with my grannies, but nowadays is becoming kind of rare, and I had to move to a paese, to a town, to being exposed to these rituals, because I live in Polignano, which is 17,000 inhabitants, and rituals are still a big part of of the community, because we do things together, because and mostly because people, they still have their own gardens. This is a phenomenon. We are losing a lot of, so people don't want to farm anymore. They don't want to grow vegetables because it's a hard job. It's not well paid, and so they are busy. And for growing vegetable, it takes time. So especially if you are living in a city, you don't have time to grow your vegetables in your garden. While in the paese, in the town, I have friends, they have their own tomatoes. So really, it's a way to continue the tradition. And this is something you can still find in small towns. And I wanted to pay a tribute to this, because it's a word that is disappearing, and it's a shame, because it's part of our culture, it's part of our identity, and it's important to be in contact with growing your food, be in contact with your food, cutting it, and yeah, it's a way to know it, and it's a way to eat better.
Indeed, and there seems to be also those events, or when the families get together, there is a lot of storytelling, and that's a way that traditions or who was who in the family gets passed on, in addition to the task on hand, which is usually thousands of bottles. So no one is there just for the fun of it. Everyone has their own job. I do have kind of a bigger question now, because when we were talking about St. Nicholas being brought back from Turkey to Bari, you also take the time to give some sort of appendix, if I remember correctly, like some historical information. Can you pinpoint maybe either some civilizations or some key points that have historically have influenced what Puglia is like in some of the traditions, or maybe even the language? Again, if you go to Otranto, obviously the Turkish, you can see the sanctuary where the martyrs' bones are kept. But I'm sure, and also a resemblance between Haran in Turkey and Alberobello. You have these smaller dwellings that were indeed on the fields that could be put together and also dismantled equally fast for tax purposes. Okay, let's keep it that way. So I was wondering again if there are some key points in the history, or again, civilizations that have left a bigger impact on Puglia.
We can say that since we are a bridge towards the Mediterranean area, we were really exposed to Arab culture, to the Mediterranean culture. So for example, just to make a small, almonds cookies you find in southern Italy, in Bari, in Sicily, are of course linked to the fact that we grow a lot of almonds, but at the same time they are so similar to almonds cookies you can find in Northern Africa, in Morocco, in Tunisia. I'm talking about corn de gazelle, all these type of cookies which are really linked together. Or back again, the Arabs that invented the dried pasta. The pasta was invented in Sicily by the Arabs and arrived to the coastal towns like Bari and of course Napoli, Genova. So Arabs, even if we don't we say the Saracen rule in Bari was just for a short amount of time, yes, but at the same time we were so exposed to Arab culture that is deep in our roots, in our food. So And yeah, of course, so this is something we can link, or the Spanish or the French. We have a lot of French words similar to in Bari, for example, or the fact that during the Napoleon time, Bari took its final shape. We have the Borgo Murattiano that it mirrors Paris with the boulevard and avenue. So it's really interesting to walk in the town of Puglia, or I'm talking about the castles, the castle Frederick II in the 13th century, built all over the coastal line. You have in Bari, you have them in Trani, we have the beautiful Castel del Monte, and this is something that is really part of our culture. And once again, when I'm talking about Frederick II, I'm also connecting Puglia to Sicily. We have a lot in common with the history of Sicily, and of course history of Regno di Napoli, Regno delle Due Sicilie. So it's really Cuisine is like a community of we've been exposed to so many influences that is like a mosaic of civilizations here in Puglia.
Wonderful. Now, before we wrap up with this very interesting conversation, and again, we will have links and we'll talk about how to get your book, Puglia. Probably you can show it better, but I want to talk about some future projects. I see you with two other lovely ladies I'm familiar with, Enrica Monzano and Giulia Scarpaleggia, so the three of you seems to be the perfect triumvirate to do something great in March of 2026. Can you tell us a little bit? Enrica was a guest of our program, presenting her book, A Small Kitchen in Genoa. We'll put the links in there. Again, another great publication in Italian and in English, which is, again, also to you, Flavia. Thank you for investing the time of having your book in both languages. With Giulia, Cucina Povera. So tell us what the three of you are up to, if you can share.
Of course. First of all, we are sisters from different regions because we share the same values, and we have a very similar approach to how culinary culture has to be shared with the international public. So a few months ago, we met in Genova visiting Enrica, and we came up with an idea of a kind of retreat, a long masterclass of 4 days in Toscana. We'll be at in Jules' kitchen. And we are going to have different cooking classes with a focus on Toscana, Liguria, and Puglia. And it will be a way to explore in just a few days the 3 regions, because for example, when it comes to oil, we are going to taste. I will bring oil from Puglia, Enrica oil from Liguria, Giulia from Toscana. So we will have the opportunity to explore different oils, different wine, different cheese, and share this passion, and of course cooking together. So it will be like a celebration of our culinary identity together with sisters. So the program is really nice because we will also go to the market and shop together. We will forage, and so it will be really hands-on and unique opportunity to cook with us. It will be from the 3 from the 3rd to the 6th of March 2026. And if you have any question, maybe we can link, Viviana, we can link
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Puglia, because she's the leading host of this retreat.
Wonderful. And if you talk to Enrica, tell her that I say hi. We did some cooking classes online, because I think it was during COVID, where she taught how to make focaccia di Recco, but unless you're in Recco, then it's focaccia al formaggio. So this summer that I was in Italy, I was traveling around in completely different regions, and all of a sudden I said, I just want to go to Recco, have the focaccia. So I got in the car 300 kilometers just to, experience the real thing. So that's the crazy things that I will do. So thanks to Enrica, you can tell her that she fostered my mind of going for, a great length just to taste the real thing. So Flavia, as I said, this has been a very interesting conversation, because I'm sure has helped our listeners who are interested in immersing themselves in authentic Pugliese ingredients and traditions. Your book is indeed a wonderful place to start. We will link also your amazing food tours, and then anything else that the Substack and all the great information that Flavia shares with us on a regular basis. But unfortunately, our time together is up. Big Ben ha detto stop. And it's time for us to say arrivederci e alla prossima. We want to thank you for tuning in into the program. And if you have any questions or comments, or if you have any topics you would like us to address, please contact us at italianradiohour@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. And remember, if you or any of your family and friends have missed a prior episode or would like to listen to this episode again, subscribe to the Italian Radio Hour on YouTube or where you catch your favorite podcasts. And also don't forget to share, because sharing is caring. So I would like to thank my guest Flavia, and I'm going to ask her to say something in dialect. Let me see. Our sponsor, Istituto Mondo Italiano and La Prima Espresso. So Flavia, how would you say, if we need to go, let's go. If we don't need to go, do you know that saying? With the feminine, okay. Okay, yes. So it's time for us to go. Alla prossima. Ciao, ciao.
Grazie Viviana, un bacio a tutti.